In this video, we delve into the life of Jeff Bezos and his spending habits. Amazon is one of the largest companies in the world, and even with all the information available on the internet, it can be difficult to imagine how Jeff Bezos spends his money. Jeff was a rather mysterious man before rising to fame, and even when he was the CEO of Amazon, he wasn't well known. However, as he gained more money and made headlines more frequently, we were able to learn more about him. Before we begin, be sure to subscribe to our channel and comment on what you would do with Jeff's billions. Jeffrey Preston Bezos was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico, on January 12, 1964, to Jacqueline and Ted Jorgensen. After his parents divorced, his mother remarried, and the family moved to Houston, Texas. Bezos showed an early interest in science and technology, and once rigged an electric alarm to keep his younger siblings out of his room. The family then relocated to Miami, Florida, and Bezos attended the Student Science Training Program at the University of Florida. He was the high school valedictorian and, in his graduation speech, he dreamed of the day when mankind would colonize space. In 1986, he graduated from Princeton University with a Bachelor of Science in Engineering. After graduation, Bezos worked at a fintech telecommunications startup where he was tasked with building a network for international trade. He was promoted to head of development and director of customer service. Bezos then opened Amazon.com on July 16, 1995, after asking 300 friends to beta test his site. In the months leading up to the launch, a few employees began developing software with Bezos in his garage. The initial success of the company was meteoric, with no press promotion. Amazon.com sold books across the United States and in 45 countries within 30 days. In 2 months, sales reached $20,000 a week, growing faster than Bezos and his startup team had anticipated. Amazon.com went public in 1997, leading many market analysts to question whether the company could hold its own when traditional retailers launched their own e-commerce sites. 2 years later, the startup not only kept up but also outpaced its competitors, becoming an e-commerce leader. Jeff Bezos has homes across the United States. His home base, a lake house in Medina, Washington, is estimated to be worth $25 million. Neighbors include the number 2 richest guy in the world, Bill Gates. In Washington, D.C., Bezos owns a 27,000 square foot home that, with a purchase price of $23 million, according to the Washington Post, is the most expensive house in the fancy Kalorama neighborhood. Barack Obama and Michelle Obama bought the second most expensive house in the enclave last year, with Ivanka Trump also a neighbor. Bezos' mansion was formerly a museum. In April, it was reported that Bezos is undertaking a $12 million renovation of the Washington, D.C. mansion, including adding a whiskey cellar and a marble staircase. Despite owning the most expensive house in Los Angeles, which took only 0.13% of his overall wealth away, Bezos paid $165 million for a Beverly Hills mansion in February of this year. Jeff Bezos' adjoining New York City apartments that he bought in 1999 from Tommy Mottola total around 10,000 square feet. Over the last decade, home values in La County have grown about 60%, but the median value of the top 2% of homes has nearly doubled to about $5 million, according to real estate websites. Jeff Bezos is starting a fund with a $10 billion contribution, which, at 7.7% of his net worth, makes his real estate acquisition look like small change. Elon Musk's SpaceX and Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic are famous for their otherworldly missions, but space travel is also a passion for Jeff Bezos. He founded aerospace company Blue Origin to make space tourism more affordable. Blue Origin reportedly plans to start selling tickets for a test space flight by next year, with passengers likely to pay at least $200,000 per ticket. For his love of space, Bezos also financed the recovery of the remains of several Apollo booster rocket engines from the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, 14 feet down, starting in 2013. According to the Seattle Times, NASA donated a restored F-1 booster to the Museum of Flight in Seattle in 2015 at the CEO's request. Alongside building a space program, he himself does have some expensive vehicles. For example, he owns a top-of-the-line $65 million private jet, the 2015 Gulfstream G650ER, via his holding company Poplar Glen. The model is the longest-range business jet and has a top speed of Mach 0.925, which is 956 km an hour as high-speed cruise and 904 km an hour as long-range cruise. Aside from his trips to space and his extortions at private jet workers, Bezos is constructing one of several 10,000-year clocks. The clock, which is meant to run for 10,000 years, is the brainchild of the Long Now Foundation, and Bezos has invested a reported $42 million into the project. Jeff Bezos also invested in a personal timepiece with a big price tag, a wristwatch that retails for $8,000 to $12,000 and was made by Ulysse Nardin. The stunning piece of jewelry displays both the time and date and is made of stainless steel and sapphire crystals. Its strap is fashioned from fine leather. Bezos Expeditions has invested in businesses including Workday and Twitter, and the estimated value of Bezos' stake in Bezos Expeditions is at least $880 million. Bezos himself has invested in the likes of Airbnb, Uber, and Google, among many others. The CEO also has Nash Holdings LLC, through which the Washington Post was acquired for a reported $250 million. As well as helping bankroll big names, he and his now ex-wife Mackenzie donated more to charity in 2018 than anyone else in the world. They spent $2 billion via the Bezos Day One Fund to boost nonprofits. In 2015, the Bezos Family Foundation had more than $54 million in assets. In 2017, the foundation pledged to donate $25 million to the New York University Langone Hospital, Brooklyn. Other recipients of the foundation's money include Teach for America, the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy, the Long Now Foundation, Aspen University, and Woodland Park Zoological Society. And in September, he gave $10 million to a nonpartisan super PAC that works to elect military veterans to office. Now, it appears that Bezos has chosen to use a portion of his wealth to aid homeless families and establish preschools in low-income communities. His previous donations include $2.7 million to the University of Washington Foundation in 2013, $2.5 million to Washington United for Marriage in 2012, and $15 million to Princeton University. Bezos has also contributed to Mary's Place, an organization that supports homeless individuals in Seattle. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay updated on future uploads.